to the U.S. Soccer Halftime Report on the NBC Sports Network.
Welcome back to Jacksonville, Florida. Halftime of this international friendly between USA and Scotland, presented by Panasonic. Team USA with a 2-1 lead on Scotland at the break. Russ Thaler and Kyle Martino with you. Let's take a look at the first half highlights, because we weren't lacking for action in this one. In fact, it all began in the 4th minute, Kyle.
Well, great pressure from the United States to nick that ball away. Love that first touch from Michael Bradley. Gets poked away, but look at this turn from Landon Donovan. Quickly gets turned on that left foot, and then to know he's got to go high and roof that one. And here's Landon sitting on the outside of the play, getting ready to transition. Watch how quickly he gets into the attack. But this moment I love. Landon Donovan makes a quick decision to turn on the left foot and go high with that quick finish from Landon Donovan.
And again, USA will come through in the 11th minute from Michael Bradley.
This is a dream strike from Michael Bradley. The layup pops up to him a little bit. But watch as this ball comes in. Michael Bradley, he's pointing. He said, I want it right in front of me. Look at all the space he has to sprint into. Ball comes down. He has to get to it quickly to make sure he catches it on the right bounce. And hits that one sweetly, bends away, and look at Jurgen Klinsmann loves it.
He's loving it, so is Michael Bradley, and just like that, it was 2-0 USA, but Scotland got one back.
Well, and it's just that little moment when Sharundolo and Cameron try to push out right now and catch the attacking players offside. Miller smart enough to tiptoe that line. Unfortunate deflection, but definitely a mistake.
So it's 2-1 Team USA at halftime. Outside of the goal scorers, who did you like in red, white, and blue?
Well, we talked about Boyd, the young player, and what he was going to be able to do in this team. He's hungry. He's held up the ball well. He's gotten into the final third, gotten on the end of a couple services. You want to see him a little cleaner when he gets those opportunities, but you love his hunger to try to find the net.
Much more to get to on the halftime report. When we come back, we'll take a look at some MLS action from earlier today and talk more about Team USA's quest as they head towards World Cup qualifying here on the NBC Sports Network. We'll be right back. The Tartan Army tipping some back at halftime. The Scots still in it, but the USA leads 2-1 at halftime. Welcome back to Jacksonville. This is the first of 3 friendlies before Team USA heads into World Cup qualifying. Tonight, of course, against Scotland. They have Brazil on Wednesday, and then Canada coming up on Sunday of next week in Toronto. What do these games ultimately mean as a guy who has 8 caps and has been in this situation?
Well, what Jurgen Klinsmann is looking at is 2 things. One is he wants to take a look at a couple players, a Boyd, a Torres, a Jeff Cameron, who hasn't either been in with the team a lot recently or who is young and doesn't have the experience. How do they handle this moment? The other thing he's looking for is eventually, in these 3 games, he wants to get his ideal 11 on the field before World Cup qualifying starts so they can start to get that understanding.
Yeah, they have Brazil coming up on Wednesday. As I mentioned, Brazil a 3-1 winner over Denmark. They create a different sort of issue for this USA team.
Well, yeah, and you look at Brazil, and a lot of people were saying it's a younger Brazil team. Come on, Brazil is Brazil. When you play that team, they bring a completely different dynamic to the game. Creative players, they can go at you one-on-one, they can unbalance you, that have so much skill. So one of the big things Jurgen Klinsmann talked about is everyone defending, all 11. And tonight, you've seen them defending out of a 4-3-3. They got the first goal out of the forwards defending. Against Italy, they defended out of a 4-4-2, but switched into a 4-3-3 attacking-wise. So it's good to know that the United States are versatile. They can switch in and out of formations, and they can defend all together as an 11.
And a week from tomorrow on the NBC Sports Network, we'll see USA versus Canada from BMO Field in Toronto. How is that one different than the first 2?
Well, they haven't been to Canada in a long time, so going up to Canada is a big game. We got to talk to Dwayne De Rosario when we were in Houston about it, and he said, listen, this is a huge opportunity to have them on our home soil. This Canada team's good. We saw that in the Gold Cup. And with the format of World Cup qualifying, this Canada team has a very good chance of making it to the next World Cup.
And that's the final dress rehearsal for World Cup qualifying. Second half kickoff from Jacksonville is coming up tomorrow. Major League Soccer continues on the NBC Sports Network with a showdown between Kansas City and San Jose. And then Sunday, June 3rd, it's the U.S. men's national team taking on Canada in the final tune-up before World Cup qualifying begins. We'll be back in Jacksonville for the second half between USA and Scotland when we return.
You have been watching the U.S. Soccer Halftime Report on the NBC Sports Network.